On today's show, does Pablo Torre's latest episode mean we're cooked? Gonna be talking about it all on today's Locked On Clippers.
You are Locked On Clippers, your daily Los Angeles Clippers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, sir. You were locking in with the Clips. Thank you for making Locked On Clippers the first listen of your day, your team every day. I'm your host, Darian Vaziri, born and raised in LA, been a Clipper fan for 21 years, been covering the team for 6 on my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, and 4 right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know every single time we post a video on the road to 8,000 subscribers before the season. And of course, you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about my reaction to Pablo Torre's latest episode on the entire Clipper Aspiration scandal. I already made an episode talking about what Kawhi Leonard said in response to the questions regarding the scandal. I'm going to be talking about a piece of information that makes me very suspect on us. And then the put option that Kawhi Leonard had with the $20 million in stock that he was given, and 2 lines from the CBA that scare me just a bit. Now, the first and most important thing that I think was shown, and by the way, I just want to say, I can't wait when the season starts. I can't wait for the season to start, so I never have to watch a Pablo Torre finds out again. But when the Clippers are being talked about this much, I got to cover it. And the giggling like schoolgirls when they're doing their little skits, it's just so annoying. But anyway, this part I have to give him credit for finding. It turns out that even after March 2023, when the Clippers ended their partnership with Aspiration, Steve Ballmer, his philanthropy known as the Ballmer Group, shared a new grant on December 2024 with a company known as Golden State Opportunity. And guess who was the head honcho of Golden State Opportunity? Joseph Sandberg. Joseph Sandberg. And Ballmer is giving him 1.875 mil. The Ballmer Group is giving him 1.875 mil in December of 2024. That is after we ended our partnership with Aspiration. That's a couple months after Sandberg's co-conspirator got arrested by the FBI, and almost a year after Bloomberg broke the story about the government investigation into Aspiration. And as I said, more than a year after we ended our partnership with Aspiration. So at this point, everybody knows that they were sus, that Sandberg was a fraud and all this. And, Ballmer's claim was they frauded me, they conned me, and he's still giving a company with Joseph Sandberg money. I honestly have been, I've been giving this counter arguments from Mark Cuban and all this stuff, but I don't know what to say about this one. I truly do not know what to say about this one. At this point, it should have been common knowledge that Sandberg was a fraud, that he's a little sus. So the Golden State Opportunity Foundation, a left-of-center nonprofit founded by investor and activist Joseph Sandberg. The foundation's main program, which engages in outreach to low to moderate income Californians in order to enroll them in California's state-level earned income tax credit program. I mean, I don't know what to say. The 1.875 million is interesting because if they're trying to use that to say that, Ballmer is still using Sandberg to circumvent the cap from another company since Aspiration's, down the toilet and they ended that partnership, I don't really know what to say to that because the $7 million on that document that Pablo kept showing was Kawhi Leonard missing payment from Aspiration specifically, which would mean that $21 million was given to him by them already. but this would be another company that he'd be funneling stuff to. So that's where it's a little inconsistent. I don't think the dollar amount of 1.875 matters. I think it's more that he's still doing business with Sandberg to some degree, or something that he started when he's already conned Ballmer of millions of dollars. That's very suspect and very hard for me to defend, no matter how big of a fan I am. That makes it seem like I'm closer to saying that we circumvented the cap and we cheated. So the Golden State opportunity thing is very relevant, at least to me, until I, see a good defense for it. Maybe Mark Cuban's already put out some stuff that I'll make an episode on later in the week. But my next episode is going to be about preseason because we got our first game on Thursday. So we'll be doing a preview episode and we'll be doing a reaction episode, of course. But as far as this investigation, which will go on in the season, and I still, based on the way Adam Silver's been talking, I don't know if we're going to get caught for anything. However, this part is suspect. There's no denying it. Ballmer should have been done with Sandberg, given the fraudulence and given the, all that money that he was taking and the illegal stuff he was doing. Yes, he didn't get arrested till March of 2025. But good Lord, is Ballmer that naive? Like, I don't believe that Steve Ballmer is that naive. And then for him to say, like the Clippers have kept emphasizing, we ended our partnership in 2023 because we saw that they weren't delivering their promise. So you still believe that Sandberg's delivering on this other thing, this company that apparently Ballmer and him, they had grants. The first grant was in 2018. So Sandberg, clearly he and Ballmer had done a lot of business together even before Aspiration. And I don't know how I can defend this one. I don't even care about the amount. It's the fact that he's still giving Sandberg money. Because I did the calculations. If Kawhi was getting paid in increments of 1.75 or 1.875, whatever it is, and Aspiration paid him every 3 months, then yes, by March of 2025, he was still owed $7 million. But it said on that paper, the Kawhi to Aspire, whatever, KO to Aspire, he was missing $7 million from Aspiration. So, I guess you could say maybe the theory is Ballmer, if this 1.875 is for the circumvention of the cap, I guess you can say Ballmer sent him that money to a different charity or whatever, or to a different organization that Sandberg was in charge of. And then he used Aspiration to give Kawhi that money because they had a secret plan to give Kawhi extra money. I mean, it's a good theory, for the word guilty side. But coming up, going to be talking about the put option in Kawhi Leonard's stock that also makes things fishy as well. Going to be talking about that coming up. I got to tell you a little something about Quo. One of the tools that help make a huge difference for business owners is Quo, formerly Open Phone. It's the same great business phone system you've heard me talk about before, just with a new name. So it used to be Open Phone, now it's Quo. And here's why it matters. Every missed call is money left on the table. When every customer conversation counts, you need a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7. Quo is the #1 business phone system that streamlines customer communications. It works right through an app on your phone or computer. So no more carrying 2 phones or relying on a landline. Their built-in AI agent is a game changer. It can answer after-hour calls, capture leads, and keep business moving even when you're off the clock. See why over 90,000 businesses trust Quo, formerly Open Phone. Get started free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/lockedonnba. That's quo.com/lockedonnba. And if you've got existing numbers with another service, Quo will port them over at no extra charge. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. All right. So back talking about the newest Pablo Torre pod and what it means for the Clippers and what new information has been found. And one thing that is something to note is the put option in Kawhi Leonard's stock with Aspiration, the $20 million. And for those that don't know what a put option is, a put option gives the buyer the right to sell an underlying asset at a specific strike price before a certain expiration date while the seller receives a premium and has the obligation to buy if the option is exercised. Put options are used to profit from declining asset prices or to protect existing investments by acting as an insurance or a hedge against losses. Essentially, even if the stock of what you invested in goes down, you still get the initial money that you invested. So basically, Kawhi Leonard was still going to get $20 million no matter if Aspiration went down the toilet, which is wild. That's not a normal investment. And then apparently they said that there was an email that was shown that Sandberg was saying he was giving Kawhi Leonard 20 million of his personal stock. So Sandberg is the person that we need to find out about this Kawhi stuff. He knows the real truth, but he's in jail. It's just a put option. Like, this is too good to be true for Kawhi. He's getting money no matter what. He's getting money guaranteed. It's very, very interesting. And it's hard to defend at this point. I think I can't lie. But you know what the funny part is? Every time I come out and say that, Mark Cuban gives me more ammo to be like, angles that I didn't even think of. So, I'm going to be looking at Mark's tweets. But I just felt like I had to do something on this because I was like, damn. Did we do it? And you know what's funny is a lot of Clipper fans, at least on Twitter, seem to have this confidence now that, even if we did do it, maybe we did, maybe we didn't. You're not going to find anything and we're not going to be guilty. Check ball. It's almost time for the season. Kawhi's not suspended. Screw you. So, I mean, that could be a huge possibility. But just me being as unbiased as I can be, even though I bleed Clipper red, white, and blue. The put option is interesting. The fact that he was not just any $20 million in stock, it was Sandberg's personal $20 million in stock, and he gets the put option where no matter what, even if Sandberg goes down the toilet, he gets that $20 million. It's just too good to be true for Kawhi. Something else that Pablo showed was the, more evidence that senior Aspiration execs didn't get the deal, had no idea, why is he paying, why are we getting into this deal with Kawhi Leonard? It just doesn't make any sense and all this stuff. But I don't think that proves anything. Just because they don't understand why they're doing it. Yeah, a lot of us don't seem to understand why it happened. Except for people that are like, oh, there's no other explanation other than they circumvented the salary cap. But, just to quote, it's just the financial people and stuff not knowing why. I mean, the theory is, and they even acknowledged it on the podcast of Pablo Torre. They said that the theory is that Steve Ballmer or Sandberg gave Kawhi Leonard a lucrative sponsorship deal to keep Ballmer to continue to invest because he was doing his star player a favor. Now, the question is, does that violate CBA rules and is that cap circumvention? We'll be talking about that in the next segment. But just to quote the email from Joe Sandberg about Kawhi Leonard stock, he said, "It's false that Aspiration was unaware of the arrangement. I verbally informed Aspiration's CEO of the legal fee reimbursement part of the deal when I agreed that the Aspiration stock that Kawhi would get would be from my personal stock rather than the company. Let me repeat that. I am personally contributing stock to Kawhi to make this partnership possible. Aspiration CEO judged the deal to not be worth doing. For avoidance of doubt, any and all benefit to Aspiration from the Kawhi deal is being subsidized by my contributing my equity to make this happen. In conjunction with my offering to do that, I also explained verbally to Andre that Kawhi's team wanted his legal fees paid. I'll state it here for you. I, via RJB, am transferring $20 million of stock to Kawhi over 4 years to enable this partnership for Aspiration. The benefits that you, Mike, that Andre, that Roger will get from this partnership are subsidized by my $20 million of stock. Regards, Joe." So that's the email. from Joe Sandberg, or the statement, I'm pretty sure it was an email, saying that he is giving Kawhi Leonard $20 million in stock. Now, one thing that Pablo keeps harping on is like whether or not Steve Ballmer knows about the deal. Because Ballmer said that the deal was separate, like Kawhi's partnership was separate from the Clippers partnership. And yeah, they probably were two different business deals. But of course, Ballmer knew that Kawhi had a sponsorship deal with Aspiration. Of course he knew. So I don't understand why Pablo, keeps saying, like, did he know? Like if it's some big deal, of course he knew. Now, how much does, Steve Ballmer know how much he's getting paid? We don't have any proof of that. We don't. Unless, of course, you believe they circumvented the cap and Ballmer knows exactly what, and he's the one paying him, Kawhi Leonard, this much the whole time. But we have no proof of that. So I don't think Ballmer knowing, like, of course Ballmer knew that deal was going on. I don't know how much. Like, we haven't seen any link that shows that Ballmer knows exactly how much. Now, coming up, we're going to be talking about two CBA rules, or two lines of the CBA that make me a little bit nervous, and also maybe the most curious part of it all. I'm going to be talking about it all coming up. I got to tell you a little something about Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley rushing for a touchdown, and you're in the game. My favorite part, Prize Picks just added stacks. So if I want to ride with a player, I can select their pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns all in one lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right. So, two lines from the CBA, directly from the CBA, as shown on Pablo Torre's show, that are a little curious in my opinion. Under the circumvention part of the CBA, it's section 1, general prohibitions. And I'm going to read it right now. It is the intention of the parties that the provisions agreed to herein, including without limitation, those relating to the salary cap, the exceptions to the salary cap, the scope of basketball-related income, the escrow and tax arrangement, the rookie scale, the right of first refusal, the maximum player salary, and free agency be interpreted so as to preserve the essential benefits achieved by both parties to this agreement. Neither the Players Association, the NBA, nor any team or player shall enter into an agreement, including without limitation any player contract which includes any term that is designed to serve the purpose of defeating or circumventing the intention of the parties as reflected by all the provisions of this agreement. That's just the initial line, right? I thought that was the one. This is the actual one. Okay. Ready? Sorry, Clipper Nation. That was stupid. Such compensation from the sponsor or business partner or third party is substantially in excess of the fair market value of any services to be rendered by the player for such sponsor or business partner or third party. So that's where it's curious, right? Such compensation from the sponsor is substantially in excess of the fair market value. Yeah. $28 million is a little excessive of the fair market value. So if that's under the circumvention part of the CBA, they could easily ding us for this. Easily. Even with no link directly between Ballmer and, Kawhi getting paid exactly, right? So we'll see. We'll see. As Adam Silver says, he wants to act only if there's actual impropriety and not just an appearance. And then here's Section 2 from the CBA. No unauthorized agreements. It says a violation of Section 2A or 2B above may be proven by direct or circumstantial evidence, including but not limited to evidence that a player contract or any term or provision therefore cannot rationally be explained. And the rational explanation, I guess, is like, here's the thing, right? If Mark Cuban can use these defenses, that's where Ballmer's legal team and all that is going to come in as well. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see it. The thing that right now seems like it's going in our favor is that it doesn't seem like Adam Silver, who I've, previously grilled on Dime Dropper and grilled on this show, but it seems like he's kind of on the Clippers side. Like he almost doesn't want Steve to get a bad reputation or, get looked at as a cheater, especially when we haven't won anything. And where was Kawhi really going to go? That's the question. Like, let's say none of these teams gave him, let's say we didn't circumvent the cap. Let's say none of these teams gave him any illegal benefits, like the request that Uncle Dennis was asking for, which was like part ownership, the private jet, all that. Where would he go? It's got to be here. He wasn't going to stay in Toronto, and he was never going to go to the Lakers. So that's the thing. But here's the thing. In business negotiations, did the Clippers know that he wasn't going to go to the Lakers and he was just bluffing with them? Probably not. And that's where the desperation comes in that leads to the conclusion that we did circumvent the cap. Now, again, I'm a Clipper fan, so I'm going to say we're innocent until proven guilty. But this episode, I can't lie, made me a little nervous. But here's also the thing. So those CBA lines, I mean, based off of that, they could easily get us for this, even if it's not clear that Ballmer directly paid Kawhi through Aspiration. Because of those lines in the CBA, we're susceptible to getting caught. Now, this is ultimately, though, what matters. Preseason begins on Thursday, and Kawhi Leonard's been in training camp healthy. So at the end of the day, none of this stuff matters right now. It's almost time to play ball. You can talk about Mr. Aspiration, Kawhi Leonard, Mr. No-show contract. You have to guard him. You have to guard him starting Thursday, but really starting against the game at Utah. So that aspiration noise, this investigation noise is going to get quieted down, no pun intended, by the man himself. Because he's healthy, and hopefully it's for a significant portion of time, but he's going to start cooking, and there's going to be much less talk about aspiration and a lot more talk about how good he still is at basketball. Now, there's definitely going to be people saying when they get destroyed by Kawhi, which is inevitable in the regular season, he shouldn't even be playing. Like, the Clippers cheated. Like, he shouldn't even be playing. Like, there's going to be tweets like that. There's going to be stuff like that. And they're probably like, the broadcasts of other teams are probably going to mention it every time we play a team. Like, it's probably going to be mentioned every time because it's big news. But it's going to be a long investigation. And Kawhi Leonard's about to start taking that court. And I got some episodes coming up talking about how the quotes coming out of training camp, what they mean. It's a good time to be a Clipper fan. So for anybody that's going to that game, I'm going to do a little preview on it, what I'm looking for in this preseason. Clippers against, who we playing? The Sacramento Kings. Nah, it's not the Sacramento Kings. We're playing against the No, we're not even playing against the Nuggets. Why is it not showing me the preseason schedule? Because we're playing tomorrow on Thursday. We're playing today against, the Long Lions. Gwangju Long Lions. And that game, by the way, Bradley Beal is a game-time decision, is going to be played in Oceanside at the Front Wave Arena where the San Diego Clippers play. Front Wave Arena. I haven't been to that arena, but it sounds cool. I've been to the one in Ontario. That one's not bad. But the Front Wave Arena is where the San Diego Clippers play. And It's a 7,500 seater, so that's a really good, there's probably no bad seat in the house, and it opened in 2024, and it is the first large multi-purpose indoor entertainment venue in San Diego, in the North County area of San Diego County. So that's awesome. Front Wave Arena. Be there. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dime Dropper Pod. Subscribe to my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, for even more LA Clipper, NBA, and LA sports content. I've been releasing more playoff post-game recaps from the playoffs, better late than never, on my Dime Dropper channel. And of course, you can listen wherever you get your podcast to Locked On Clippers. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell on the road to 8,000 subscribers before the season starts. Also, let me know what you thought of this episode. Does this new information make you think that we're guilty? And if you're sick of hearing me talk about this scandal, please comment that as well. I still think there's going to be a couple more episodes, maybe one or two. But we're getting very close to basketball only, and I'm excited about that as well, because I don't want to watch these little guys giggle like schoolgirls, do little skits and voices. Like, their whole thing is, I'm just so tired of it. The age-old proverb continues, go Clippers.